Now, how about them damn Celtics?
We are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording Monday, February 16th. All-Star break is almost over. The All-Star game has come and gone, and the Celtics play in just a couple of days. How you doing, Sam?
Doing good. Excited to have games back. It's nice to have like a little break from the covering everything, but I don't know, like 3 days is enough. Then I start to itch for more news. But we've got a show for you today. Um, we have a little bit from Jaylen. He spoke with Noah Dalzell for Celtics blog, and we will kind of dive into what he had to say about this year's team and talked a lot about what it's meant to him in the way the team's overperformed expectations. More Tatum stuff today. Just is another day that ends in Y with that. So we will discuss the latest. We'll go through your emails, which we have a couple. So shout out to you guys. Needed it this week. We'll go around the NBA. No real standings update because there aren't many games, but we will do a little bit of All-Star Weekend review. And then Adam Silver spoke about the big tanking problem that everyone hates so much in the NBA. Then we'll do the rat list. We'll get up out of here. Should be a lot of fun. Stick around through all of it. We're going to be here every single day with new stuff for you. So if you can't get enough Celtics, we're your guys. Full pods Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Game recaps are up the morning after each game, and other videos like the ones in between are there. So yeah, without further ado, it's All-Star Weekend, and Noah had the chance to catch up with Jaylen out at All-Star Weekend, so we can take a look into what he told her. But if you want the full piece, obviously go read it. It's up on Celtics blog. Noah's a friend of ours, and we're always gonna kick to the article.
Yeah, Noah got a chance to speak with Jaylen Brown out in LA about sort of the season, everything going on. Obviously, Jaylen posted a tweet about, or Instagram story, one of the two, about the Celtics record this season compared to last year, and everyone in classic Celtics fan fashion got all up in arms thinking he was taking a shot at Jayson Tatum, when really he's just very proud of this Celtics group. A couple quotes I'll pull out, and like Sam said, go check out the full article for the full context and everything, but we'll highlight a couple things that I thought were particularly interesting. He said, "I believe that we are going to be fine, but even to me, it's like, damn, we're the second seed, one of the 5 best records in the whole league. Only a few teams have a better record than us in the entire league. We're a top 5 team in the league coming from the start of the season when it was supposed to be a gap year." I ended up calling out all the people who thought it would be a gap year, saying we were supposed to be tanking, right? Like, just kind of saying like, like, would you look at that? And I think even he's very, or I don't think there's anybody prouder of the Celtics team than Jaylen Brown, Joe Mazzulla, and the guys themselves.
Yeah, they should be proud. This is awesome. Like from a outside perspective, like in the community, it's like, whoa, none of us expected to get this good of a team. Even if you were optimistic and you felt good, right, and you wanted to believe that they would go out and compete this year, which not everyone did. I really wasn't in the camp. I probably leaned that they should just punt the season, get another asset, and go from there. And I'll own it. Like I'm happy to be wrong. Like this has been a lot of fun. But when you have a team that is like this, that kind of inspires belief in the fan base, it's a special thing to be a part of. And I mean, there's a lot that Jaylen told Noah about the work that's gone into it, from everybody involved, from the assistant coaches to the rotation players to the young guys. Like everybody has a role in this, and that's been the real story of this season. Is that it's kind of funny when you look back in retrospect at the things that the people involved told us going into it. Like Jaylen repeatedly saying to all of you and me at the media availabilities, he would be like, look, it's going to take time. Like we're not going to be, you got to be patient with us. You got to really hang in there. It's going to take us a little bit of time to figure this all out, but we think we're going to be okay. And then Joe saying that he doesn't plan to have a rotation, which we all just kind of figured was him just not wanting to share any information with us. But it turns out he was telling the absolute truth, that I'm going to have 17 different starting lineups through the first half of the season, or whatever they're at now, might even be more than that. They were prepared for this. They were approaching it seriously, and they were completely honest about how they were approaching it. And they have gone out there and delivered, and it is from the top down. Jaylen has had a chip on his shoulder this whole season. He's had a lot to prove. He just had the surgery on his torn meniscus over the summer, and you could feel like how much people forgot how good Jaylen was before he started to have that injury bother him last year. Like, this is a guy that was incredible in the playoffs throughout. He wins the Eastern Conference Finals MVP with a great series against the Pacers. He wins the Finals MVP with a great finals. And he was as big of a part of that championship run as Jayson was, which is fine. Like, the whole premise behind Jaylen talking about the thing he posted on social media was a lot of people felt like it was a shot at Jayson Tatum, which it was not. He's just proud of this group. And so the way Noah laid it out is he had put the Instagram story with no context of like the difference in the 2 seasons at the All-Star break. And then he tweeted it again with context. I'm so proud of these guys. Like, this is an awesome thing to be a part of. So there's no question that there should be a ton of pride in this team. And, I think the front office has reflected that, as much as it sucks to have some of the end of the bench guys gutted out, like Tillman gone, Minot gone, and Boucher really didn't fit. But like, to have X get dealt away and Anthony be traded away, it shows that they're committed, specifically with the Vucevic trade, to try patch the holes that they felt they had and go for it. They feel like this team has earned it. And I feel like we can't argue that. These guys have earned the opportunity to have the best chance to compete for a title.
I mean, listen, I said it coming into the season. This team was too talented to tank. They were it was never going to happen. It was just an inevitability that they were going to be good. I didn't know they'd be this good, kind of like Jaylen said in his quote. But like, you have Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and Peyton Pritchard. You're immediately more talented than at least 5 teams in the Eastern Conference. Right? That makes tanking an impossibility. And Jaylen also spoke about how a conversation he had with Joe before the season sort of like formed the way they've been able to compete this season. He said before the season started, before the season started, Joe had an idea of what he wanted, how he wanted to coach the team. I had an idea of how I wanted to lead the team, and we kind of had to meet in the middle before the season even started. We had an idea of how we were going to both work together, because if we don't work together, it would have been me not buying into Joe. None of this would work. Me being able to be on the same page with Joe has allowed us to be in the position that we're in now. And Joe's done a phenomenal job with his basketball team, and Jaylen's been at the head of that snake. One doesn't work without the other, kind of like Jaylen alluded to, just seeing it play out the way it has. I mean, you don't get this season without Jaylen Brown averaging 30 a game with the efficiency he's had. You don't get this season without Joe coaching up and putting everybody in the best possible position to exceed. You don't have this season without Joe changing the offense to work around Jaylen, Joe changing the defense to work better with the pieces he had. It's just everything has worked sort of fluidly in tandem with one another. And Jaylen talking about it really shows kind of like how proud he is, how like low-key surprised he is that they're this good. He knew they'd be good, but that they are able to do this. And then also just sort of gave Jaylen a chance to be like, this was the team you guys said was going to suck. So suck it, like, basically, to a degree.
Yeah. I don't even really know what to compare it to. It's like investing in stocks and like all of your stocks hit. That's what happened to this team. Like, they had the best possible outcome with, like, Luka Garza has probably been far above what anyone would have expected him to be. Ugo has been far more ready than anyone would have expected him to be. Jordan Walsh says a season that no one expected out of him. We were talking about, is he going to get cut? After the summer. Well, maybe not after the summer league, because he was pretty decent, but going into it, it was like, this is a make or break summer league / season for Jordan Walsh. Shireman was kind of in the same boat, especially after summer league, where he didn't do anything super impressive. We were like, is this just going to be something that kind of peters out and that's the end of him? And then how's Jaylen going to look after his meniscus? All of these things. How are Pritchard and White going to handle more pressure from defenses? How are they going to deal with a lack of center depth? Is Nemi ready? Like, think of all the things that we had to talk about all summer, and they were legitimate talking points that nobody knew the answers to. We just had to wait and see. And they have backed up and answered all of those questions. It could not have gone any better for this team. And, back to like Jaylen having that great 24 playoff run, for all of those questioning whether or not, which we'll talk about Tatum in a little bit, they can play together when he comes back. Like, one, they won a title together. Two, they won that title together when, before this season, it was the best basketball I think Jaylen's ever played. And they were able to coexist with that. There was no problem with that. And I don't think, I understand they have a rhythm. Is it going to make them have to take a step back to take 2 forward? I think you said that to me. And since then, it's just kind of stuck. It's like, yeah, that might happen. Like they may have to reset a little bit, almost with like the first couple games of Vucevic, where they didn't look great at times, but man, against the Bulls, who are the Bulls, they looked awesome, and he looked good, and he looked comfortable. The more that they can get used to that, and that's why like a lot of people are excited about the Tatum return. They kind of want to see it sooner rather than later. So there's some ramp up period before the playoffs so they can kind of get their footing and get through the awkward growth stage. That's fine. But to act like that they cannot play together is ridiculous. And there was nothing really about that part of the Tatum thing. I mean, Jaylen was talking a little bit about, he's very careful what he says. And he talked about on his Twitch stream that he shouted out Jayson and all of the effort he's put in to recover. It's just he's very careful with what he says usually. So I'm excited for it. I mean, Jaylen deserves all the praise in the world. Joe deserves all the praise in the world. I think Jaylen told reporters at the All-Star weekend that he thinks Joe should be coach of the year. And it's like between Joe, Jordan Ott, and JB Bickerstaff for like the race right now. And I mean, Joe's done a hell of a job. He's maximized everybody. Like all of that stock investment stuff, like Joe plays a big part in what I was talking about, where all of the questions had one of the best possible outcomes because of Joe and his staff putting in the effort necessary to maximize and get every drop of basketball juice out of these guys.
Yeah, exactly. Before we do continue, I want to tell you guys about PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. This basketball season and hockey season, which is still going on as well. Baseball season starting up, football season over, but no matter the season, make sure to get your action over on PrizePicks. It's super easy to play. You just pick more or less and at least 2 player stats, throw them in a lineup, and you can have your chance to win. So make sure to head on over, download the app, and check it out as basketball season gets underway for the second half of its season. Shoot your shot on PrizePicks and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That's right. PrizePicks is now giving you $50 in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. PrizePicks makes every dunk, every dime, and every board that much more exciting. So don't miss this chance to get started on America's #1 app for sports picks. There's a new feature on PrizePicks, which is early payouts. If a player gets off to a hot start, you now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. You can also find your community on PrizePicks with the new social feeds feature. You can share your PrizePicks with your friends and copy lineups from winners in a single click. Copy lineups you like or use them as inspiration for your own picks. You can even follow PrizePicks partners and tailor fade picks with just a single click. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. But yeah, Jayson Tatum also shared an update at All-Star Weekend. A promotional video aired of his sort of road to recovery. It's 1 minute 32 seconds. I'm going to play it here. If this video gets copywritten, you might not see it. If it doesn't, then you will see it. But regardless, I'll cut around it.
You can find it.
Yeah, it's on his YouTube channel. So if I end up having to cut it out of this video, you can see it there. But if it does let me keep it in, then, well, I'm going to play it right now. So here's the video from Jayson Tatum.
Ever since I was 4, I gave my life to this game. Since the day I got drafted, nobody played more games than me. Nobody played more minutes.
Our all-star, our MVP, our Olympian.
I'm 27. I feel great. Just starting my prime.
Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinals.
First 2 games we let slip away, and now game 4, I know what's on the line.
Tatum, 39 points.
3 minutes and 8 seconds left. I just lunged for the ball.
Tatum is hurt. And in a New York minute, everything has changed.
Yesterday I was Superman. Now I'm in a wheelchair. Am I ever going to play again? I got hurt Monday. Surgery Tuesday. Can't feel my leg.
Being one of the best athletes in the world, and now you can't feel your foot. He would say, am I going to walk again?
And my mom, she was like, if anybody can come back from this, it's you. Toughest part of my day is taking a shower. There are people counting on me to fight through this.
How do we keep continuing to progress his calf strain? That's the biggest challenge.
Been in the weight room for 19 weeks. I'm back on the court. Rusty as a is just becoming a reality. I won't be out there to practice. I won't be out there when the season starts. That is frustrating to have to live through. Only thing worse than not being able to walk is coming back and not being Jayson Tatum.
So that's that. Listen, man, it's teasing like a 5-part series of documentation or documentary of his recovery. I don't think Jayson Tatum would drop this if he's not going to come back this season. I'll put it that way. Like, just, and I don't know anything, right? Obviously, anything could happen. He could have a setback and he could not come back, and anything can happen.
Yeah.
Come on. But, like, come on.
Well, he's actually dropping the thing as an apology. He's like, my bad. I can't play, so you guys can watch. You can watch me come back, work my way back. No, I mean, this is all the timing of this is interesting because the last time we recorded a show, we talked about the Steve Bulpett shared time slot change for the March 1st Celtics 76ers game at TD Garden. It went from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It is NBC national TV game. Now, this Jayson Tatum docuseries tease was shared by Tatum to his socials, and he tagged the Celtics, and he tagged the NBA, and he tagged NBA on NBC. He probably partnered with NBC to make this, or at least sold it to them. I don't know. They seem like they're going to be the ones distributing it at the very least.
It is on their YouTube channel, yes.
It's on their YouTube channel. Okay. So, I mean, I don't know if they have set this as a target date or what. I don't know what goes into that. I don't know the medical, the boxes that need to be checked still. Like him doing the practice with the main Celtics, I would imagine is a significant box to be checked. Then, since then, we've gotten the media availability, which was par for the course. It was required for him to talk to the media. It was not like something that was necessarily by choice, but it was by choice, by proxy, because they decided it was time to practice and activate him. So there's that. And now you're getting the game change, and then you get this teaser for the docuseries. It is a lot of things to do if nothing is going to happen. That is just the way that I'm taking it. You guys can all take it for whatever you want. Put for your own grain of salt on it. Take your little salt shaker and grind the salt, as many salts as you want. You can do it. But it just feels like we are getting a lot of winks sent our way.
Based on the way everything is played out, this reads to me like I believe, and again, I don't know anything. This is just me guessing, that this was always the plan, and he was trying to set the expectations according to make this a big deal, right? Like us watching him practice in Detroit got all the hype and made everyone say, oh, so he's definitely coming back. And he's like, well, shit, I have this whole 5-part docuseries coming out. Let me reset that expectation a little bit. Then does his thing where he's like, oh, I'm reevaluating. And now this. Like, this obviously has been in the works for a long time. And if everyone is already saying, oh, he's definitely coming back when this comes out, it doesn't hit as hard. So he was probably doing some back end resetting, or at least attempting to make this a bit more pop. And for what it's worth, I think it would have popped either way because it's Jayson Tatum. But I mean, listen.
Are you done? Did you have another point?
You're good.
The best thing I saw in relation to this account on Twitter at PhilFanACC account tweets. They just aired a Jayson Tatum vignette like he was Triple H returning from his torn quad. And like, truthfully, like you laid it out, this is wrestling. This is like trying to get the biggest reaction that you could possibly get in this return. It's a serious matter. I'm not trying to downplay the seriousness of it, but exactly what you described was like a way that you would want this to be received type of thing. And it feels like that is the stage of it that we're in, which is an exciting stage to be in. Like, it just feels like the final like climax of this recovery process story is almost upon us, and none of us can wait. We're all like on the edge of our seats for when it's going to be.
Yeah, it feels inevitable. It just feels like Jayson Tatum will be back this season, and that March 1st date does make a lot of sense, based on everything that's played out. So we'll see. I mean, like obviously we have no idea how it's going to play out exactly, but it just does feel like the most likely scenario that he'll be back on that date, considering they moved it to prime time and it's on NBC.
Final
Yeah,
final thought on that is it might not even be March 1st. Like they may be like anticipating March 1st as the first primetime appearance for Jayson Tatum, but there is a chance that he is like put out there a little sooner and gets let's look at the schedule quick. And then we can move off of this. Sorry. I know they go out west. They're out west, and it won't be any of those games because, well, we kind of know that's what he says. He wants to return at home. So they get home. The first home game is February 27th against the Nets, and then you have the Philly game. So it could be Sunday, but it could also be the Friday where they play the Nets. It could be a let's see how you feel type of thing.
I mean, based on Jayson Tatum saying, I don't want to return as anything less than Jayson Tatum, I don't think he would be like, let me get a warm up in against the Nets. I think he would just want to come in on a prime time against one of the better teams. Like that just doesn't seem like him based on everything we've seen.
That's fair. I think there is like it alleviates some of the pressure to come back against the Nets. You know, you don't have to go on national TV.
I don't think he gives a shit.
Maybe he doesn't care. I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't care. That's just another aspect of this that I was thinking. I was like, oh, maybe they like put him out there and let him get his feet wet before he's thrown into the fire on national television. But everybody's got League Pass now. If people want to watch him play against the Nets, they can tune in and watch him play against them. Actually, yeah, no, they can. But I know Nets games actually are not League Pass usually because they have the yes thing. But NBC Sports Boston, if you do not live in Boston, you still watch this game. So it does not matter.
Yeah, you'll be able to watch. Yeah, that's the latest on Jayson Tatum. We can move on. Like Sam said, there's no real standings update, so we'll just skip over that. We don't have any emails either, so we'll skip over that. And we'll go right to the NBA All-Star Weekend. The All-Star game was yesterday as we are recording this a couple days ago, as you guys are hearing this. But it's actually pretty fun. I'll give the All-Star game credit. This was the best All-Star game there's been in a few years. Probably ever since the 2020 season, I think it was, when they actually tried. And Nick Nurse ran out Kemba's legs because he played him a million minutes. It was entertaining, though. They played 4 games. It was like a round robin, and then they had like a score tiebreaker just in case everybody tied, which I don't think that ended up happening. But Wemby tried, and I think that kind of set the tone. Like Wemby was out there blocking shots, sprinting around to, contest people at the rim. And then from there, Anthony Edwards tried, and Kawhi was trying. And if that guy's trying, then everyone's trying. So it just felt like everyone kind of cared about All-Star Weekend, which was pretty cool to see. So credit to Wemby, credit to the All-Star, weekend for putting together a pretty solid product, even though the arena kind of sucked. The fans kind of sucked. It was dead and no one paid attention, and they started random chants like, we want, I think, Giannis at some point. We want something else. They were bad fans, but it was a good product. At least the basketball was.
Thumbs down review of the fans. I kind of like that. It's a W. I understand that the box scores are not the easiest to take a look at here in this All-Star Weekend stuff, but I didn't watch. I had plenty of basketball to be played myself. But I heard glowing things about this. I did hear about Wemby. I heard about Anthony Edwards. Well, he won the MVP, but I did hear like that he was very inclined to try. He brought it. And like he is another guy that he's going to be around a while. He has a significant competitive motor in him. Like all of these guys to be at the level they're at have it, but like he has it on another level than everybody else, I feel like. I did hear that Jokic may not have cared all that much about the
Jokic did not care. Jokic did not care.
Which is fine. That's on brand for him. But one thing I heard, I was listening to Bill Simmons and Zach Lowe talk about this morning, and they theorized that it is perhaps a wave of talent issue. So like the elder statesmen like LeBron, Steph, KD are kind of over this. They've done it enough. They are in like a group where like they don't really want to try because it doesn't look cool. And then you have like Jokic mixed in there too, who doesn't really care. But like the newer era of players like Ant, Wemby, I heard Cade and Jalen Duran seem to take it pretty serious too. Like maybe they do care. Maybe they are sick of hearing people saying that this is lame. This is a big nothing event that, I mean, like me, I'm like involved in this. I didn't even care to watch it. Like I didn't change my day around to try and make sure I got in front of a TV to see what happened. And all anyone was talking about is how confusing the format was and all of those things. But maybe it was the USA versus world thing that gave guys a little bit more that they felt like they wanted to play for too. That's a possibility. I think that like if you find something that works, and that's great. If the players decide they'd like to try again, that's cool. I don't know if you necessarily need to make it count for something, but maybe it is just as simple as the younger guys want to prove and show out that they can compete, and maybe they'll carry that forward with them. They don't want to be talked about like they're lame and nobody cares about them. And that could go a long way for the league. Why not?
I just think it's a matter of finding guys who care and Wemby cares. And let me tell you, the first game they played went to overtime, and the overtime format they used was first to 5 points. So it was just whoever got to 5 points first won. And Team World came down, or Team USA came down, hit a 2. Team World hit a 3, and then Team USA had the ball again. And so all they had to do was not give up a 3. And Cat sunk into the paint to help, and Wemby was mad at him because Scotty Barnes hit a 3 and they lost, and Wemby threw his hands up. He's like, what the fuck are we doing? He was not happy. He was very mad that they didn't defend correctly.
Shout out
Scotty
to
Barnes
Wemby.
won the game. Scott, you know what? He's not going to get credit either. Scotty Barnes was a motherfucker. He like this made me like Scotty Barnes because he said he saw that Wemby was trying and he was like, you know what? Fuck you. And he just guarded the fuck out of him. He just pressed him at half court. He full court pressed him. He bodied him in the paint. He rebounded. He hustled. So credit to Scotty Barnes too, because he was like the antithesis of Wemby. He was like, you know what? If you're going to try, I'm going to make sure you can't win.
Yeah, I mean, Scotty Barnes is perfect in that category where like he plays in a small market, even though Toronto's like one of the biggest cities on the continent. Like we do not see a lot of Raptors basketball or hear about the Raptors very much because they're in a different country, right? Like people here don't really talk about them that much unless they're like the best team. And even then, like you still don't hear about them that much. So he's like a underrated name at this point and wants to prove himself on a big scale where you probably have eyes on the game that do not watch the regular games as often. Even though like the people that care about the regular games probably don't care about the All-Star game. You are like introduced to a new viewer base, like in a sense. So like there is a motivation to try. And like Wemby deserves a ton of credit because Wemby is one of the youngest guys in this, if not the youngest guy in the All-Star game. And, you know, you think about the NBA and drafting players and how difficult it can be, even if somebody seems like they have the tools to be super confident that guy's going to be a good fit for your franchise. He's going to bring it. He's going to work hard. Like Wemby, from everything that we've heard about him, carries a great mindset in that regard and seems like a pretty decent guy that is like a good person. Like what a great representation of like the young up and coming basketball generation. And also if you're a Spurs fan, you love this. Like you got the perfect San Antonio Spurs business is business guy. I'm not, you know, I'm coming to play no matter what. Just an awesome, like setting an example move by Wemby. Credit to him.
Yeah. Shout out Wemby. But going over some other stuff that happened at All-Star Weekend. Apparently Anthony Edwards said he can't wait to come home to Jaylen Johnson. I didn't see this until you put it here.
Yeah. There's a clip going around on Twitter today of Anthony
it.
Edwards and Jaylen Johnson having a nice chat. And it's like, I can't wait to come home. You guys got all the wings there. And I like Kuminga. Kuminga is the driving force behind Anthony Edwards wanting to go back and play in his home state of Georgia.
Let me see if I can find this clip.
Very reminiscent of Kyrie, KD, in the halls of the Charlotte 2019 All-Star game plotting their move to Brooklyn, but it's different because Anthony Edwards is not going to hit the open market, maybe ever. And if he was to, he's not an unrestricted free agent until the summer of 2030.
Here's Anthony Edwards.
My brother. My whole time, man. Yeah, that one fan, yeah.
Oh man,
Anthony Edwards is
Oh,
such a
man.
character, man. The best is I didn't realize it was a trend, but like when he's talking and won't drink like whatever
Mhm.
beverage he's holding, he keeps pump faking like he's gonna have a sip, and he never does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. No. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen there. I don't think anything's gonna happen. It'll probably just be swept under the rug and be like whatever. But
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
like for Atlanta Hawks fans, this is not the same as the Kyrie KD, even though it has the same feel, because he's not a free agent for 4 years. He just had his extension kick, and he cannot leave
yeah.
and go anywhere on his own accord. And if you do trade for him, it's going to cost you a lot. Like all the things he's excited about will probably be gone if you get him in a trade. That's the way the NBA works now. You can't get excited about this stuff anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. He's going to be in Minnesota for a while. This is nothing to me, but it's not nothing. KD shit talking every single human on the planet is also not nothing, according to the burner messages going around Twitter right now. He just went crazy. He shit on Jabari Smith. He shit on Devin Booker. Şengün. I'm not going to share the messages on the screen because they are not very, very cool messages. But if you'd like to go read them for yourself, they're everywhere. And you know what? Maybe this is why the KD teams don't work that often. Maybe this is why KD-led teams don't work.
So just the backstory on this. KD, as KD does, was arguing with people on Twitter on his like actual account, like where he will notoriously go back and forth and talk shit to fans, which is, I think everyone can agree, is pretty cool. Like it's one of the things that I like about KD is that he's not afraid to go at people that will criticize him online. And somebody that was in the argument pulled out the receipts and was like, hey, here's an account that looks like it could be KD's burner. The only people that follow the account or the account interacts with are people that KD is friends with in real life. And then somebody shared screenshots of DMs or threads where the burner account was talking about people on the Rockets. I think he was talking about Ime as a coach, talked about, you said Devin Booker, and like he was just trashing on these guys that are his teammates. And not the best look for a veteran who's supposed to be, I wouldn't even say the leader on this team, but like he is the veteran on Houston. Like him, Steven Adams, who has been in the league 6 years less than Kevin Durant, and he's significantly younger than everyone thinks he is, but he is like another veteran piece of that Rockets team. To be a part of that with a bunch of young players, like how do they handle this? Where they're probably somebody they look up to as a teammate, or they don't like him. Like we don't know that either. Maybe they're like very aware that he just doesn't care for them or doesn't really want to take accountability, which is what the messages would tell you if it is him, which we don't know for sure. It can't make things good for them in the locker room, especially like thinking about the Celtics loss they had 2 weeks ago or whatever it was. And then the following Charlotte Hornets loss they had were both awful losses. Like this team is not flawless. They are very susceptible to just wilting and crying all over each other and just melting down in the middle of a game. This can't help that. Right?
Yeah, no, I mean, this is if I'm the Rockets, I don't want to play with them. Like this is garbage. Like this is some bullshit. Like obviously it's not going to work if you're out here trash talking your teams, because if you feel like that behind the scenes, you're probably not going to be able to hide it very well in person. So
that
that sucks. Like that sucks. It's shitty. And clearly it's
in fairness to him, like it's natural to get frustrated when things like aren't necessarily working right, but there are ways to handle it better, significantly better than this. Like you can have constructive conversations with the team, with your teammates, with your coach about maybe things you may be noticing that you don't think are working, not doing what this is.
Yeah, there's no unfairness to him. This is fucking terrible. This is garbage. That like his feelings are valid, but this is not next. You're 34, bro. This is not an acceptable way to.
The only reason why I even said in fairness is because what you said, the feelings are valid.
Sure,
the handling of it was mishandled.
Yeah, I can feel angry. That doesn't mean I should punch a wall, right? Like
exactly.
Be an adult. Like this is trash. This is probably why teams don't fuck with them. Insane. Last All-Star thing. LeBron said he might not play next year. I didn't watch any of the LeBron stuff, but if you'd like,
I just saw the clips, and I mean, at least he's consistent. He just keeps saying, "I don't know if I'm going to play," and credit to him. He's keeping it in his back pocket for if they get swept in the playoffs again. He can go up there and not talk about them losing and talk about, I don't know if I'm going to play next year. You guys are going to have to wait and see. And then, everyone will be talking about maybe he's going to retire instead of they really came up short or weren't as good as, their record said or whatever the messaging may be. Final thing on the KD thing, which isn't even about the KD thing. He tweeted from the KD account, like the real one, making fun of Shams being on his phone at the celebrity game on Friday. And then there was the clip of Kevin Durant before the game on his phone, like looked like he was in shambles, like locked in trying to figure out what was going on. Life comes at you fast.
Damn shame. Poor guy. Also, Chris Paul retired. We didn't talk about that, but
yeah, we didn't talk about Chris Paul.
I mean, there's not that much to talk about. He retired.
We did our part in the Chris Paul just gets absolutely thrown in the garbage to end his career arc. We didn't even think to mention it on the Saturday or the Sunday pod.
Poor guy.
But yeah, he got waived by the Raptors and then announced he was retiring, and then all the teams that he played for shouted him out. But this is not at all the way that he envisioned. I think he deserved better. We don't know what happened with the Clippers. Like maybe he was a significant pain in the ass in the locker room, and then I don't know what's to be said about Chris Paul kind of separates himself from the Clippers, and then the Clippers start winning games, because it's really hard to talk about that in a sense when he wasn't playing. It's not like, this guy was a real problem for what we were doing on the floor, but he wasn't in the games. But whatever happened there happened there. And the idea that everyone's heart was in the right place. It sounded like it was going to be this is nice. Like he's going to kind of go out with the Clippers and return to a team that he had such great, maybe his best career success with. And nope, they said goodbye.
Tough. Last NBA thing, Adam Silver talked about tanking with Joe Vardone of The Athletic. I said, it's time to take a fresh look at this and see whether that's an antiquated way of doing it. He said of the draft lottery, it will lead to very unhealthy relationships between us and our teams. I think part of the problem is that if you step back, the fundamental theory behind the draft is to help your worst performing teams restock and be able to compete. The issue is teams are manipulating their performance in order to get higher draft picks, even in a lottery. Then the question becomes, even if teams are rewarded for draft picks purely according to predicted odds of the lottery, are they really the worst performing teams? My sense is, talking to GMs and coaches around the league, that there's probably even more parity reflected in our records. And that goes to the incentive issue. It's a bit of a conundrum. And he's right. I mean, it's tough to fix it, because if you do make it a lottery and you do keep the classic, the worst team gets the first pick, teams are inevitably going to tank because they want to reset and grab talent if they're not good enough to make the playoffs. I don't know what the solution is, though. For what it's worth, I do think the play-in has helped, because it adds 2 more potential playoff spots. So even you do have some teams gunning for those chances, and you've seen the Heat made the play-in and made the finals. You've seen teams sort of gun for it that way. You also get more stupid teams like the Bulls and the Kings who are only gunning for the play-in, which then we make fun of them for not tanking, which is also a problem because then we say tanking sucks because tanking does suck, but then we're making fun of these teams for not doing it. Like it's a tough situation, but then you can't really do, oh, we're going to make it free agency. Like the draft is free agency because no one has room to sign players, right? No one has room to sign players. And so like Cooper Flagg would have wanted 30 mil, right? At least. And there's just not like, it's a hard situation to address. And I don't really know what the straightforward solution is right now.
It is hard. I think another piece of this article that I forgot to put on the rundown was that Silver did not rule out that they would just say free agency as rookies, like you can sign. And I would imagine if they did that, there would be some kind of rookie maximum that they could get, right? It wouldn't be, because if you're signing rookies as a organization too, like there's no guarantee that that guy is awesome. You know, typically when you think about NBA free agency, it's you're signing a guy, at least in the past before it went to nothing, it was like, oh, you know, this guy is an all NBA level talent, so you're willing to give him a max contract. But like, even though Cooper Flagg was the consensus number one last year, there was no guarantee that he was going to be good. And that's just kind of how the draft goes at times. Like we've seen players get picked for. James Wiseman was a guy that everyone talked about as a great catch and a great prospect and he just never really had the thing in him that he needed to succeed in the league. And he's not the only example. He's just the first one that came to, Anthony Bennett. There's plenty. Go and find Markelle Fultz. I mean, even Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons was an all defensive, all NBA guy, and then he just didn't have it in him to want to keep really competing at a high level. And like they only got however many years out of him. If you're signing somebody, there is a risk to it. But I'm sure if they did that, there would be some kind of system where if you're the worst team, you get X amount of dollars compared to, the 14th worst team that would be in the lottery, right? As far as the lottery and tanking is concerned, they're mad that tanking is hurting the competitiveness of teams during a season. But especially without free agency now and thinking about how you have to build teams, right? So we just talked about Anthony Edwards not long ago. Anthony Edwards can't leave the Timberwolves on his own accord until 2030. He has never been able to sign anywhere else except for Minnesota without Minnesota having the opportunity to match and keep him, right? Even if he hit restricted free agency. So why would you not want to get a high draft pick other than the risk of missing on the pick? Because the way the NBA is operated now, you need to draft and get good players through the draft in order to have the leverage to have flexibility moving players. To get more assets, you have to be able to trade somebody. These players don't hit free agency anymore. They just sign rookie scale extensions and then they try and get a supermax to stay with the team that drafted them because that is the best way for them to make the most money. And they're signing NBA contracts. Now, they're not signing a contract with the Timberwolves or a contract with the Celtics or whatever team you want to pick. They will be paid to play professional basketball no matter which team they play on. And they can ask out, which is fine. It probably is the best way for everybody for this to work. The players get paid. The teams don't lose players for absolutely nothing. But in order to put yourself in position to not lose players for absolutely nothing, you have to pick high in the draft or you have to hit on your draft picks no matter where you pick. Now, you mentioned the Kings and you mentioned the Bulls. The Bulls in particular have not drafted high or drafted well. And so they are stuck in the middle because they try and sign these scrap heap free agency guys to come in and they aren't able to get them through anything. And those guys are only hitting free agency because whoever drafted them wasn't that interested in keeping them around. So there's like so much that goes into this. Like coming into the season, I was like, I think the Celtics would be best off punting the season. Like from a pure, like I'm thinking about next year, I'm thinking about down the line, what can they do? If the Celtics don't win a title this season, and that's not how I feel, but like if I was nothing else, my job was to build a contending team for years and years and years. If you don't win a title this year, you might as well have gotten the top pick from a team building perspective. I'm not saying that there haven't been great things that came from this season. I don't fully agree with that. It's a little extreme. It's not black and white. There's plenty of gray area. But you would end up with somebody that could potentially be a superstar. You would have them under team control on a team-friendly deal for the first 4 years of their NBA career. And then you would sign them and there is a lot more that comes with getting a good pick and a good prospect.
But you'd also have a pissed off Jaylen Brown, a pissed off Peyton Pritchard, a pissed off Derek White, less of a chance for Nemish Queta to be good, less of a chance for this player to you would also be in a much different state of affairs in terms of your roster and the happiness of your players and maybe their willingness to be like, I'm good here. Let's keep going. I do think that's a factor as well.
Sure, it is. And the Celtics might be a terrible example for this, right? Because when we think of the Celtics, we don't think of that. We are not like they should want to be bad. They should want to be great. They have the pieces to be great. And we know that for sure now, but we didn't know that going into the season. But you mentioned the Bulls and the Kings, and we make fun of them because they don't tank. And they should be tanking. There's no argument against those teams tanking. They should. And I think I said at the top of this section, I don't really care. If you want to tank, man, tank. It doesn't bother me. But there are people that legitimately hate that they're tanking teams. I have a friend that texts me all the time that's like, this league is a joke. Why do you like this? And it's yeah, but the reason why the NBA has a tanking problem more than every other league is because if you do hit, that player can change your team. If you get one guy, it can take you from the bottom 3 to the play-in or maybe even higher. And you need depth more now than any other time in probably league history. But you get a significant piece of your roster, and you have the chance to do that if you tank. Why would you not? There's no other way to really get great stuff unless you're willing to get rid of everything you have.
Yeah, I mean, listen, every league has problems, right? The MLB doesn't have a salary cap, so the Dodgers can just do whatever the fuck they want, and other teams can't. The NHL, if you draft a player, they can just go back to college, and then you're kind of fucked.
Don't they keep them though?
There's a part of it.
This isn't an NHL podcast. It doesn't matter.
There's a part of it, but there's also I don't know exactly, but I know you can there's a way to skirt around it. I'm pretty sure there's a way to fucking skirt around it. And obviously the NBA has the tanking problem. The NFL is weird. I don't know for sure what the biggest issue over there is. I don't really understand a lot of it. Huh? Yeah, player safety. They have a lot of other.
Let's add another game after we just added a game a couple years ago.
The NFL has moral issues that it needs to deal with, but regardless, I don't know how to solve the tanking problem. I don't know exactly what it is. Maybe it is some sort of maybe change the odds even more, flatten them even more. I think that could be a good idea. If you flatten the odds to where it's everybody in the bottom X has more of a chance, but then you'll have teams in the play-in just losing games at the end of the season to get out of that. So it's hard. It's an impossible situation. Maybe you add you don't want to expand the play-in tournament even more because then this hurts people actually winning. I don't know what the solution is.
I heard
maybe you make.
Go ahead.
The lottery smaller. Maybe you don't let everybody in the 14 in the lottery. Maybe it's only if you're in the bottom 6. The bottom 6 teams get to be in the lottery for the top 6 picks. Everything else is just got to be flat. You get 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's just where you slide. And you'll still get some, right? I don't think there's a way to fully avoid it. But if you are the Mavericks last year, you're all right, fuck, we might as well try to win, right? There's no point in us I guess if we want the 14th pick instead of the 18th pick, but at that point we might as well just go maybe that helps a little, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, with the top 6 thing, and you said it, but that'll just make teams want to be real bad. Then you're really incentivized to be awful because then you'll actually have a chance to move up. Simmons was saying to Zach Lowe, he's what if okay, so the draft is about to start and the 5 worst teams all tell Adam Silver which player they would pick if they had the first pick in the draft. And let's say last year would be Cooper Flagg, right? The Cooper Flagg was pretty much consensus number 1 pick. So Adam Silver's Cooper Flagg was told he was the one that team said they would pick the most, even if he wasn't consensus unanimous number 1. 4 teams said that they would take him first out of the 5. And then Cooper Flag gets called up and they're like, okay, Cooper, Dallas, San Antonio. Who was third? Help me out.
Philly.
Philly and
Charlotte.
Charlotte said that they would pick you. Which team do you want to play for? You can pick any of them.
Yeah.
And then you would be like, it would be completely up to the players. You wouldn't really be able to.
What I would do, so you could take the top 5 teams, right? Let's say those teams pick those, and then the Jazz said no, we would take what's his name? We would take
Dylan
Harper. 1 second. Dylan Harper. The Jazz then get Dylan Harper. They said they would
No,
take
I don't
him,
think it would automatically do that.
I think it should. Because then it creates a fucking because then if you're the Spurs, you're like, okay, well, all these teams want Coop, so let's say this team. I'm just saying I think this would be funny. That this is
the way he presented it was this same thing would happen for like the first 5 picks.
Yes, I know. I'm just saying it would be more entertaining if it was what I said. Because then if you say the same as another team, your fate is in that player's hands, and then you're fucked. And then you're cooked. And so you have to decide if you're the Hornets, you're like, okay, well, they're probably gonna say Cooper. He'd probably rather sign with them. So let's say Ace Bailey and say he has a chance. But then it gets into the Cooper already talked with the Sixers. Like then you get into a mess.
It becomes
that wouldn't
no
work
matter what
either.
you
Yeah.
But I think all boils down to, like, more than anything else, if you get the right player, it changes your whole franchise, and teams are chasing that. And that is far more valuable for most instances than doing the play-in. Because most times you just go, like last year's Cavs or Heat team just showed up to get smoked.
Yeah. Anyways, all right, Rat List, Sam, what do you
got? Rat List is I have, well, it's an anti-rat list actually. So I have become, somebody put me on to this local farm store that will always post like deals on Facebook. So I'm always like looking to see what the deals are. I went on Saturday and got some stuff. They were selling pretzel buns, 2 packs for $5. So I got some. I made turkey burgers yesterday and used the pretzel bun. It was a life-changing good thing. Like, I couldn't believe the difference that the pretzel bun made. I don't even know if I've even had a pretzel bun before, like going out to eat, ordering it, or anything like that. And it is a game changer. So the rat list is probably that now that whenever I run out, I will be inclined to pay full price for pretzel buns, and it will increase my grocery bill. But man, what an item, the pretzel bun. I had no idea that this was coming.
Pretzel buns are good. I'm a fan. Rat list. I went to park yesterday. I used Spot Hero, which is like you can pay for a parking spot.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to find it. And there was so much snow around the edges that I could not get in the spot. Like I didn't have enough room to turn my car enough to get into the spot that I paid for. Like it's like, I don't even know how to explain it. There was snow on the wall to my right, and I needed to park on my left, but I couldn't pivot and turn wide enough because I couldn't push my car through the snow. And so my car got stuck in the snow like twice. And I just had to like give up and go park somewhere that was like half a mile away from where I needed to be. And it was pain in the ass. It sucked.
I had a similar experience on Friday at Globe Ball. I'm actually happy you brought this up because it reminded me of this rat list. Rat list is so where we play Globe Ball had a maintenance company working on, it looked like the heating duct above the entrance. And they had their van parked on this narrow street, but there were parallel parking spots on the side. There was one, I needed somewhere to park. I was in a parallel park. I went to parallel park and I realized that I could not swivel my car to start backing in because I would hit the van. So I had to reverse parallel park, and it took me probably 10 minutes. And the thing about parallel parking is when you're in, but you're not quite in, and you have to keep doing the back and forth thing, you feel like everyone's watching you and you get uncomfortable. And then I literally was about to give up. And I got out of my car and I was about to walk in, and then people couldn't get by. So I had to get back in my car and refigure out how I was going to do it. I eventually got it. But I can't blame them entirely because how would they know where to put their van? Ratless is narrow streets. I hate when the streets are too narrow. You got to figure
And
it
it's
out.
worse right now because snow is making people park
Yes.
further from the curb, and so it's impossible to get down anywhere.
Well, yeah, and then the snow. How long do you think you're welcome here? Like, it's like an unwanted house guest. I was thinking about yesterday driving home. It's been half the month. We got snow at the end of January. It's been
Yep.
half the month since
It's not
the
going
snow
anywhere
was still
anytime
here.
soon. It's gonna be here for a while.
I saw grass on the side of the highway driving home from Global,
Wow.
and I was like, wow, I haven't
big.
seen grass in so long.
I'm gonna rattle this Whole Foods too. I ordered a sandwich at Whole Foods, and
What sandwich?
it was like it was like chicken, onions, some other
Okay.
stuff. It was good, right? It was fine. I don't remember exactly, but
They
I
got a
ordered it.
great cold cut turkey, honey,
Mm.
mustard, avocado. I used to always get it.
Michaela
on.
got that. It was good.
Michaela's
Except she doesn't like honey. She doesn't like honey, so you got it with
She doesn't like honey mustard.
Oh, the one she got had like hot honey, so it might have been
okay.
different. Whatever. I ordered, and Michaela's came out in like 10, 15 minutes. Already too long. I was sitting there. I look at her. I'm like, so when is this like crazy? And she goes, no, it's fine. 5-10 minutes pass. I'm like, okay. And she goes, yeah, no, this is crazy. I stood there waiting for my sandwich for 25 minutes. Not an acceptable.
Cold or hot sandwich?
Hot sandwich. Doesn't matter. 25 minutes. I see the oven. I can see it. It's right behind you. You're not going across the store. Slide it in, bring it out. All the ingredients are in front of you. Make the sandwich, put it in the oven. 10 minutes max. Give me the sandwich. It's a pizza oven. It's hot. It's already hot. I know it is. I can see stuff going in and out. And then went to dinner that night at this pho place. It's like a bunch of Asian food. I got crispy chicken, garlic rice. It was good. Michaela and I ordered the same thing. We were out with her friend. They got their food. Mine didn't come out yet. I'm like, that's a little weird. We got the same thing. I asked the lady after 5 minutes. 5 minutes go by. They have their food. I don't have mine. I'm like, hey, we got 2 of these. She goes, yeah, it's still cooking. I waited there for 15 more minutes before my food came out. We got the same thing. And mine was piping hot. They obviously just fucking forgot about mine. And then we went to a show that night. It was like this a cappella show thing, and it's like a competition, whatever. And so the judges are deliberating. They deliberated it for 40 minutes. And so there was just
what? Deciding who won?
Deciding who won. And so this other a cappella group is going as like the deliberation entertainment, whatever. And they keep like checking, like, are they done yet? Are they done yet? And they're just going. And then the winner won by like 80 points. What the fuck are you deliberating? Oh, that sucked. It pissed me off. We were just sitting there for so long. It was a day of waiting, and I was angry. It made me mad. And that was the same fucking day that I was dealing with the parking spot.
I'm a fellow impatient. What I will say is time moves way slower when you're hungry. When you're sitting there waiting for your food, it could not come fast enough. Like, there are restaurants that I will not go to because I know it's going to take forever. I was actually talking about this with people yesterday. There's a local place that, like, it's good if you get takeout, but you can't go sit in there because they do not take any kind of urgency with getting you your food. How are they deliberating that long? That's crazy.
There were other things, like the top 2 made it into the next round, and the gap between second and third was a lot. It was like 5 points, so it was a lot smaller. And they also gave out like individual awards, like best solo, best whatever. It was still an unacceptable amount of time. Also, they had like an intermission, and then the intermission ended, and this group went. And then a lady comes out and is like, yeah, so we accidentally had them go before the judges were in their seats. How the fuck do you do that?
We experienced that on Friday when I deleted the recording.
Yeah, but like, it's this big event. They had to go again at the end. It was stupid. It was bad. It was crazy. But yeah, anyways.
Ratless's Twitter. This shit's broken every other day.
Yep.
Every other day. It just doesn't work. Right now, I'm trying to refresh it because I was like, did I forget anything that I saw online? But it actually reminded me that this morning I woke up and I went to go on Twitter and it was just like, yeah, can't refresh feed. And I was like, is my Wi-Fi out? What's going on with this? Why is it doing this? Nope, it just wasn't working. You know who had it worse than anyone? Probably Noah. Because Noah was trying to push out her Jaylen Brown interview during the time when Twitter was down. Like my Twitter started working again, and I saw that she posted it like 3 times. She was probably trying to figure out if she had gotten it to go through or not. I had retweeted one of them, and then I saw that she tweeted again. I was like, oh, now I gotta go retweet this again because I thought it was an awesome thing. But how does this happen? This used to
Mine
never
just
happen.
refreshed for what it's worth.
Oh, it did?
So, I just
it
got
is.
my notification.
Yes.
Never mind, it's back to not. So who knows? Maybe I got lucky.
How does this
That's
happen?
all I got though. I got nothing else.
I'm a little nervous because we're traveling this week, and my travel is like playing roulette. Whereas, like, are they going to have seats for me on the plane? Are they not going to have any seats on the plane? I'm excited. I think our flight to go out west, I will be there with you guys. But I do not know about – well, I have a flight selected to go to L.A., which I'm not sure if I'm going to get on it. But there are flights all day, so I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah, you'll get there eventually.
Anti-Ratless, 2-game winning streak for the men's league. We'd started
Nice.
0-6. We are now 2-6.
All right.
I played maybe my worst game of the season. We still won yesterday, so I'm very
Nice.
happy with that because I've been playing like super well for me, and I was like, man, how are we losing? And man, everybody brought it. My man Proc had he bleached his hair. He shows up with bleached hair. We're all clowning him. This kid on my team that Jack knows, and he had the best second half. Like if I was doing a podcast on the game, if there were media covering the game, everybody would have been talking about this. He made like 5 threes in a row from the same corner. He had the other team yelling at each other. He had a steal coming out of a timeout for a fast break layup. Like could not have impressed more with his game yesterday. He deserves all the credit. But 2-game winning streak for the men's league. Shout out to the guy at my weekday runs that's always giving us shit. He's like, this is why you guys lose on Sundays. You guys play like shit. Old guy talking mad shit to us. Told us we were on a win streak last time we won. He was right.
Good. Yeah, that's all I got. We can wrap it up, send you home. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Leave a like, subscribe. I'll let Sam take it out.
Ayo, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. Why? Because it's the All-Star break. We just gave you an hour pod. Look at us. Full pods Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Game recaps from the morning after each game. Other videos are here in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. You can find Jack and I streaming pregame live a half hour before each tip-off. Nick NBA has become a tremendous staple of the program. So if you like him, come hang out for him. And we're bringing another special guest too. So be on the lookout for that stuff. We're trying to tweet it out. Spotify and Apple, we're there too. All pods and recaps there. If you just want the audio versions, go ahead. Subscribe over there. Leave a 5-star review. Tell your friends. We'd appreciate that. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Our socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook's the name of the podcast. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's the Jack's Money NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us.